We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie,
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
and he's Grogu, and he says, Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Indeed, because as of the day that we're recording this video, it is Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Yay.
And that's why it's very appropriate that our feature topic today on the road with Mickey is our top 5 Disney romantic movies of all time. And Disney asterisk, when I say Disney, I mean Disney slash Pixar. You all knew that though, so it's no big deal. But it's top 5 Disney romantic movies of all time.
Yay.
So I am very excited because everyone on the show, everyone that's been listening forever, knows that I am an absolute hopeless romantic.
Yep.
So,
Good
I
thing.
get it from him.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is my jam right here. But first, oh, I'm so
God
sorry.
bless you.
Bless
I'm
you,
sorry.
Daddy. It's
How's
fine.
that for a wake up if you're listening early in the morning?
Wake up. Wake
It's
up.
fine, Daddy. You managed to move away from the mic, so it was relatively quiet.
That's
Okay,
right.
good.
It really
Well,
was.
anyway, first we have some cheddar from the big cheese. And Brenda, you start us off this week.
All right. Well, in Disney Treasure cruise ship news, Disney recently revealed some pictures of the bow of the ship featuring Captain Minnie Mouse. Here's a picture.
Ooh, I
Aw.
love that motif of her. She's kind of got an explorer's outfit on.
That's
Yeah.
very nice. She's so
I thought that
fancy.
was so cool. I'm like, I gotta save it so we can share it.
It looks
Yeah.
beautiful. I wonder what the figurehead on the ship is gonna be.
I don't know, but this is reason 1,752,468 why you should be watching us on YouTube, right?
Absolutely.
There you
Oh, and
go.
look, I didn't even realize it, but she's got little Pluto motifs framing her too.
Very cute. That looks
Yeah,
beautiful.
it does. It'll be really cool. And that ship sails original sailing, inaugural sailing is in December of this year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Getting it ready.
anyway, getting ready.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh, it's so exciting. Well, Daddy, it's your turn now.
It's my turn, not term, but turn. Anyway, I know what I'm thinking. In Magic Kingdom news, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is the retheming of Splash Mountain, is going to open this summer. It was originally slated to open late 2024. Now it says summer 2024. So they are moving
Yay,
that
ahead of
schedule up by
schedule.
several months.
Yes,
So,
Yeah.
I was scrolling through TikTok recently and I think I saw something from the Disney Parks channel, the official one, and it was talking about that and it had like a jazz band and there was Lewis playing the trumpet, Lewis the alligator, and I
mhm.
was like, "Oh my gosh, how soon is that away?" Well, thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming quickly.
it is coming quickly. Of course, it's Disney, so there is no date.
Of
Mm.
It
course
just
not.
says summer 2024, which might mean what, September 19th, the day before the end of summer?
It could be.
Who
It could
knows?
be. You
Or
never
it
know.
could mean June 22nd, the day after the first day of summer.
It
We
sure
don't
That's
know.
could.
true. That's
Or
true.
maybe it'll even be earlier. Maybe it'll be Sophie's birthday.
Now, Daddy, I'm sorry, but my birthday is officially in the spring
I
season.
know. That's why I said maybe earlier.
Never
Maybe.
know.
You
Who
never know.
knows?
We're
We'll
just
see.
excited they're not going to wait all the way till the end of the year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, Sophie, you've got some cheddar too.
Yes. We're going 2 for 2 Moana news 2 weeks in a row. Last week, we announced a surprise trailer that Moana 2, the animated sequel to the first movie, is coming out this November, November 2024. Well, now we have a release date for the live action Moana that is going to be hitting the theaters next year, June 27th, 2025.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
a
looking
lot
forward
of
to that one.
Moana news.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to both of them. I mean, the music of Moana is so good, and hearing it again in a theater would be really cool. And it'd be really neat if Disney re-released Moana just before Moana 2 came out, so you could almost like see it back to back.
They
That
sometimes do that.
they
Yeah, they
do.
did that with the Avatar series.
Hmm.
Oh, good
So
thing that was, yeah, well
that
Yeah.
would be
placed.
kind of neat. But anyway, that is our cheddar from the big cheese. And now we are moving on to our feature topic, our top 5 Disney romantic movies of all time. And Brenda starts us off this week. We're counting down from number 5, which is our 5th favorite romantic movie, to number 1, which is our top dog, numero uno. Nothing can beat it. So that's the way we're
Okay.
doing our order.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm wondering how many duplicates we'll have this time.
I am too, and we'll
Yeah.
see. So, what's
Well,
number 5 on your list, Brenda?
number 5 on this list was hard, y'all.
It was.
But I did get it down, and this one is a live action romance. It's not animated, and it is Enchanted.
Ooh.
Oh, good one.
I
Good
love
one.
Enchanted, and I love the music from Enchanted.
Hmm.
And I'm going to read the little synopsis thing because I wasn't sure how much to prepare for the show, but it says, in the fairy tale land of Andalasia, pretty young Giselle frolics with her woodland pals and falls in love with the handsome Prince Edward. But when Giselle arrives at the castle to marry her Prince Charming, his evil stepmother sends the princess to be in a place where there are no happy ever afters, New York City. Cynical divorce lawyer Robert comes to her rescue, but can Giselle find her way back to her true love? Hmm.
And
Mm.
You'll have
Giselle,
to watch to see.
Giselle is Amy Adams, right?
Yes.
And I love Amy Adams. Oh my gosh, she is
Yes.
so adorable. And it's Patrick, what's his
Patrick
name?
Dempsey. Oh
Dempsey
my
from Grey's
goodness
Academy.
gracious.
Grey's
Ooh la
Academy.
la. Grey's
That they
Anatomy.
were Grey's Anatomy. They were a really
Ugh,
good couple
they
in
are.
that.
They're a great couple in that.
Yeah.
You're right.
But Amy Adams, oh,
Yep. And I love the music.
oh yeah, I do
It's
too.
it's great.
Happy
It's great.
working song.
Yeah.
When she's cleaning the apartment. Oh my gosh, that was so it's hysterical.
Yeah, and all the
Oh,
birds and everything
and
coming
the
down.
cockroaches are coming out of the oh, it's nasty. Well, there goes all the
Yep.
romance. Sorry about that.
Ugh.
Still a great romance, though.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, that is
And
a
don't
great
forget,
start.
Zena Menzel is in it.
Uh-huh.
Dina Menzel is in it as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
like her a lot from Frozen, which is
Yeah.
I know made Sophie's list.
This is one of the lists where I can confidently say that Frozen will not be making an appearance on for any of us, Daddy,
Well, you're right. Frozen did not make the list for me.
because that's a story of sisterly love and overly played songs.
I don't agree with that. I agree with the sisterly love part, but sisterly love is very important, I have to say, because I have two beautiful, wonderful sisters.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it does not coexist with romantic love, I think.
That's true.
You're right. You're
That's
right.
true.
So, number 5 on my list, I I don't know. This might be a dark horse. You all will have to tell me.
Mm.
But number 5 on my list is Wally. And
Not
I
a dark
chose
horse.
That's number 5?
it's number 5
Not a
on my
dark
list.
horse at all.
It's number 5 on my list because um so much of Wally focuses on the condition of Earth and the trash buildup and everything like that. But there's that storyline of Wally and Eve, and what I really love about it, and it reminded me of you, Brenda, with your mom.
Aw,
It did.
it's so sweet.
When he had the new card put in and he didn't remember, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's like an and I'm sorry, but it's like an Alzheimer's thing. But then
It's
love
very much like
won
that.
out. Love
Yes.
won out, and she brought his memories back
Yes.
because of her love. And
That's right.
I thought, isn't it amazing how non sentient, robotic creatures can teach a thing or two about love.
That's for sure.
So,
But
so
that's only
Wally
That's a
number
is number
great
5.
five.
selection.
It is number 5 on my list. I have 4 that I think I maybe could have switched 1 or 2, but I'm going to stick with my list. So
That's
Wally,
good. All right. What about you, Sophie?
All right. Well, Wally will be making an appearance on my list. I'll tell you that right now, but it's going to be higher than number 5.
okay.
So my number 5 is actually going to be Tangled.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
wow.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Tangled's on Daddy's list.
You could count on it.
Yeah. Listen,
So
I love
why?
Tangled. I love
I-
Tangled, and anyone can really understand why it is a romantic movie. You have the hardened criminal, the wanted criminal, as Gothel calls Flynn. You have him. He is currently only acting in his own interests. And then he stumbles upon this tower. He meets this girl that has never left this tower, and he has no idea why. And then she's like, listen, I want to go do this, and you're going to help me, or else you're never going to get that crown back. And so he begrudgingly helps her out. He tries to scam her out of her side of the deal a couple of times, at least twice. But as he learns about her and as she helps him to escape the guard horse Maximus, and as he learns more about her, he realizes, oh wow, this girl, I care about her a lot. And by the end of the movie, he is risking his own life for her safety. And if that is not a sign of devotion, I don't know what is. Let's just say he has set my standards rather high. But not only that, and this is just about his character design. When they were designing Flynn Rider, they actually went and asked all of the female employees at Disney what they found most attractive in a guy, and Flynn is an accumulation of all those attractive traits. So that just says he's meant to be loved. I'm going off on a tangent here. I love Tangled, okay?
yeah.
I do think there are more romantic stories that Disney has made than Tangled, but it made my top 5.
It's a great choice.
Yeah.
It's a great choice.
All
Yeah.
right. Aunt Brenda, what's number 4?
Well, number 4 on my list is Aladdin.
That is
Oh, that's a
Everyone
good one.
knows the story of Aladdin and Jasmine, but it's just I love that. I think that's one of the great love stories. And I have the little blurb. It just doesn't say much considering how much detail Sophie is going into. But Aladdin is a lovable street urchin who meets Princess Jasmine, the beautiful daughter of the Sultan of Agrabah. While visiting her exotic palace, Aladdin stumbles upon a magic oil lamp that unleashes a powerful, wisecracking, larger than life genie. As Aladdin and the genie start to become friends, they must soon embark on a dangerous mission to stop the evil sorcerer Jafar from overthrowing young Jasmine's kingdom. I like stories too where I guess a lot of them are, the female is, I mean, yeah, the female that doesn't have power in the beginning ultimately is the prize, like the total prize, like to have, you know, ultimate power over their loved one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Jasmine would say she's not a prize to be won, but
Of course she would, but
And she's
but
right.
she is. She is a prize because she is
she's a treasure.
everything that a princess should be.
Yeah.
And she's yeah.
And you know what? I love Aladdin a lot, and I love the story of it too. I think Aladdin is one of the few Disney movies where I think the live action version of it actually elevated the story. It's a lot
I
like the live
agree.
action Cinderella because in the live action one, we do focus a little bit more on Jasmine and Aladdin. I didn't think we could focus any more on them, but we do. And so for that
Yeah.
reason, I agree with you. Aladdin is a very romantic movie, but especially the live action one.
Totally agree with that. I'm a
Because like
live action person too.
yeah, because she was not interested in it at all.
No.
She wasn't.
No, she wanted
But
to rule the country just as she was. I mean, she could
yeah,
have easily having
yeah.
given the chance and yeah.
And then through the course of the story, she realizes, hey, this guy here is worth giving a chance, and she does, and it turns out very well for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Aladdin
That's
wasn't
great.
on my list,
It
and
wasn't on my list either,
the
but
reason it
Oh.
wasn't on my list, predominantly was because so much of the original part of the story was about Aladdin looking out for number one,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's kind of
That's the
like at
same
the
as
end,
Flynn. Yeah.
in a way, yeah, in a way.
yeah.
And you're right, and so and this movie that I chose, which is probably this was probably the hardest choice I had to make.
Oh.
Number three, two, and one kind of lined up really well. Number four, I had a hard one to deciding, and number five, I was pretty set on Wally. I maybe could have switched five and four. Now that I think about it, but number four, it's not so much that it's a romantic story, it's the romantic subplot. And I'm talking about Cars. And I'm talking
Ah,
about Lightning
cute.
McQueen and Sally. And
Sweet.
and a lot of the same premise there though, you know. Lightning McQueen was all about Lightning McQueen and how can I work the system for me, you know? And it
Yep.
wasn't until much later that he realized, wait a minute, this people in Radiator Springs kind of mean a little bit more to me than I thought that I would let them mean. And of course Sally was like just really sweet car couple, you know.
Yeah.
So Cars is number four on my list. Um, in thinking about it, maybe I should have put Cars at number five and Wally at number four. But anyway, um, that's the way I did it, so that's why I'll stick with it. But
That sounds
number
good.
four, I have Cars, and it's mainly because of Lightning McQueen and Sally. And we talked about it's romantic love we're looking at, not best friend, brotherly love, or sisterly love.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of really cool things to think about with regards to Mater and Lightning McQueen and
Oh,
how
yeah.
how how good of buds they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's sweet.
so number four is Cars.
All right. Is it my
Right.
turn now?
It is your turn now.
All right. Well, when I originally went into this movie was actually the first one that came to my mind. And so I would have put it at number one, but after I thought about it more, I realized that there are still movies that I prefer to this one. However, this is easily one of the most romantic movies that Disney has put out recently, or should I say, Pixar has put out.
Uh-huh.
And I'm actually talking about Elemental.
Ah,
Good story.
Yeah.
that is a good
This
story.
it is. And this movie was specifically marketed to be a romantic movie. It was directed and written by people who are actually experienced in writing romantic comedy TV shows. And that does translate into the movie. Um, Another reason that it came to mind first was it was one of the most recent romantic movies that Disney
Yeah.
slash Pixar released after a huge dry spell of no romance in
Yeah.
their movies. And so it
Yeah.
was a very welcome change for me. But also, I really like this movie because I actually relate to it a little bit. Because this movie, it's not so much, I don't relate to the cultural differences between the male lead and the female lead, that is Wade, the water guy, and Ember, the fire girl. I don't relate to their differences, but I do relate to the fact that they are two young adults. They are learning about each other and they realize that they like each other, and they are having to navigate that along with navigating their other relationships, such as their parents,
Hmm.
who Ember is worried her dad won't like her new boyfriend. Wade is pretty confident that his family will like Ember, but still a little bit like hesitant. They're both just trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
And it
Yes,
is. And
it is a
it's
great story. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I first watched it in the theaters, I was crying. I was crying like a water person.
well, you're right, Sophie. It was refreshing from the standpoint that Disney or Pixar specifically doesn't often have much in the way of romantic movies. They have a lot of times they'll have a romantic subplot, but not a romantic movie. And this actually is it's this generation's kind of opposites attract kind of sort of movie. And so it's really kind of cool that they went into that angle of it deliberately thinking this is kind of a romantic movie. So
Yeah,
good
Yeah.
choice.
it
That's a
is.
great choice. Very current.
Yeah.
Was that a water pun?
Oh, no, but that was good.
Oh gosh. Okay.
That was good.
So Brenda, what
Well,
do you got for number 3?
Number 3 is a classic love story. Well, maybe not. I don't know. To me, it's Beauty and the Beast.
that is
It's
adorable.
Beauty and the Beast. And of course, it's the
Way to
love
go,
of
Mrs.
the
Potts.
Beast and Belle. And, you know, he's an arrogant jerk who puts no value on anything. He's a spoiled brat. And then the witch comes and curses him and says that he's going to be cursed as a beast and all of his staff will be cursed forever unless he can fall in love and have someone fall in love with him. And then the sweet Belle comes to replace her father, who he's put in prison, and she takes her father's place because she's a hero. And she softens his heart and she reads to him and she teaches him to read. She just makes him a better person all the way around. And
Hmm.
then in the end, they don't they don't make it in time for the last petal to fall off the rose, but still, just like Entangled, they are able to get the blessing, I
Yeah.
say. So it's a great
Yeah.
story.
It is a great story. And you know what? When we saw on the Dream Beauty and the Beast in the live show,
Mhm.
the
Hmm.
way they did that ending moment when the characters, when Lumiere and Cogsworth and all the others kind of seize up because the last petal has fallen.
Yeah.
The way they did that on the ship was phenomenal. I mean, like, it just pulled your heart out, you
Yeah.
know? And you're like, oh
And
my
you
God.
knew the story.
Yeah. But it's like the way they were able to portray that as these characters are moving and all of a sudden they have to stop. And it was
Yeah.
just, oh man, it's powerful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a
good
great
choice,
story.
Brenda.
Thank you.
It did not make my list.
It did not make your list? What was your number 3?
No, and the reason it didn't, I think, in many ways, is because I figured it would be on others, but also, um, I don't know, maybe I think of it as being too over chosen,
Oh, maybe
but
so.
I mean, it's a really great choice, and you're right. It's a story about as much about true love as there is,
Yeah.
you know? And you're right. She showed him that he could be better than he was. And the way you explain it makes me almost regret that it's not on my list now. But number 3 is a great movie, and it has a lot of romantic overtones to it. This is not necessarily the romance of a husband and a wife or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything like that. This is more of a family romance. And number 3 for me is Coco. And the reason
Oh,
it's on there is because he loves his family so much that he didn't want to be forgotten.
yes.
And really, the
I got
only
you.
reason he was hanging on is because his girl remembered him. His girl,
Mm.
she had not forgotten, even though she was trapped in her mind in many ways and could not really articulate it. She had not forgotten her daddy. And it's like, dude, that just hits.
Yeah.
And so it's not romance because obviously his wife thought, "Oh my gosh, he just left us." And really that wasn't it, but so much of that storyline is about that, but in the end it comes down to his little girl did not forget him, you know?
Yep.
And that's why it's on my list. So,
That's beautiful. All right.
so number
Sophie, are
3
you
is Coco.
okay?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
you got a number 3.
Oh, yeah, I have a number 3. I was just thinking about Daddy's choice.
Yeah.
Do you agree with it or no?
Like I said, familial love and romantic love do not coexist.
Yeah.
At least not for the same person, I would hope.
No, of course not.
No, of course not.
All right.
All right,
Well,
well, anyway, my next choice is going to be one of my favorite movies overall from Disney, and that is The Princess and the Frog.
yeah, that is definitely a Sophie favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the same vein as Aladdin, it all starts with Tiana or Jasmine, as your choice was, Aunt Brenda. Neither of them are interested in love.
Right.
Neither of them are. They have other goals to strive for. With Tiana, it was her career. With Jasmine, it was her kingdom. And then this boy comes traipsing his way into her life. And in the same vein as Tangled, this boy, Naveen, is kind of self serving.
Yep.
Very self-centered. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But over the course of the movie, because it all started with a kiss. It all started with a kiss, and that went horribly wrong to start. But as you get through the movie, you realize they maybe did not regret that kiss as much as they thought they did. At least Tiana did not regret it quite as much. Um, and so keep in mind, this movie happens very fast, I think, because it starts like, I want to say, 3 days before Mardi Gras. And then by the time Mardi Gras rolls around, he's wanting to propose to her. She is about to say yes. And then, of course, comes the part where they fail to kiss the princess and they stay as frogs. But you realize it's not quite such a tragic thing that they're frogs because they have each other. And then, of course, they get married. When Tiana becomes Naveen's wife, she becomes a princess, so they kiss and the curse is lifted happily ever after. They didn't need to be human to have that happily ever after, I think. I think they would have been just fine as frogs, but I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say. As long as they have each other, they will be happy. And sure, it's great that Tiana got her restaurant and Naveen is part of it and his parents are happy with him and everything is well. But everything would have been well as long as they had each other too.
Hmm.
Yep. That's a great story.
It is a good story.
Yeah, that's a great love story.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brenda.
All right.
Getting
We're
down
down
to
to 2 and 1, aren't we?
Yep, we
Yeah.
are.
Okay, well, number 2 for me is Wally. Yeah,
This
it
Oh.
movie,
made it way
great
far
movie.
down compared to yours, Mike, but I'm going to read the little synopsis in case people don't know. Wally, short for Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth Class, is the last robot left on Earth. He spends his days tidying up the planet one piece of garbage at a time, but during 700 years, Wally has developed a personality and he's more than a little lonely. Then he spots Eve, a sleek and shapely probe sent back to Earth on a scanning mission. Smitten, Wally embarks on his greatest adventure yet when he follows Eve across the galaxy. I think Eve represents life for him. It's like his, what they say is as long as there's hope, people could stay alive forever. But the minute they lose hope, they're done for. And I think he found life in her. And I just love that story. I love that story.
Yeah,
It's a sweet story.
Yeah.
it's a great story.
And he's cute.
It's
He's very cute.
and so is she. It's really cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
So that's it.
I watched it the other night on Disney
Mhm.
Plus, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is on the list.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so great.
All
All
right.
right. Well, what is your number 2, Mike? I'm just dying of curiosity about your 2 and 1.
Number 2 on my list is Tangled. For
Ah.
many of the same reasons Sophie mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tangled is, you know, I think the overarching theme for a lot of these movies is how someone can make someone look at themselves and want to be a better person,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what happens here. We know the story. Flynn Rider was all about Flynn Rider, you know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
on and on and on. But one line, absolute one line, it just gets me every single time. And he tells her, "You were my new dream." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, it's just like boom right there, you know?"
Oh.
I know that's true. That is
So,
great.
golly, it's just like, yeah, it's
That
just
is great.
and when she sees her mom and dad and they all collapse together
Yeah.
and you know this guy is crying right along with them. And
Yeah.
then they reach out to Flynn Rider and he's like, I don't know, what should I do? And then they reach out and they pull him in and it's just like it just cements the deal.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
Tangled Tangled has a lot of the feels for me. It's number 2 on my list. And
Yeah.
and I think that's a good spot for it. So
Yep. That's definitely that's such a compliment too. That's such a I mean to for them to think of that. It's like that movie As Good as It Gets with the guy from The Shining. What's his name? Jack Nicholson?
yeah,
Jack Nicholson
Jack Nicholas.
and Helen Hunt,
Jack
and they're in that
Nicholson.
movie.
Nicholson. Jack Nicholas
And
was the golfer.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Nicholson makes like he completely insults Helen Hunt. Did you see it? He
Oh
says the
yeah.
worst thing ever to her, and then she says, "Pay me a compliment now." And he says, "You make me want to be a better man." And her whole face is like, "Oh my God, like where did that come from?" Because he's such a jerk.
Yeah.
But it's like it's the same with Tangled. It's like they become better men. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Everyone
soften the
becomes
edges.
better.
Yeah, but
Everyone
there's a
becomes
big difference
better.
between super selfish thief people who become better and regular normal people that become better.
Well, yeah, but still, it's a great way of showing it.
For sure.
Because love
Yeah.
makes everyone better. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say that right now. If love does not make you better, then are you really in love and do you really deserve the person you're supposedly in love with? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
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 You hit the nail on the head right there.
Sister. I was waiting for
Yep.
Brenda to say sister.
Uh,
Sister.
well, no, because she's your sister from another mister, Daddy. I'm just her niece.
That's right. She's right on though. She's my soul sister though.
Hmm.
Yep. We're
Yeah,
twinsies.
because I have a feeling I'm looking at all our lists, and
Uh-huh.
I actually think that number 2 and number 1 are forming like the peak of the mountain, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. It's
they are.
all
Yeah.
coming to a head
I'm
because I
wondering
have
if
a
yours and I
feeling.
are the same. Yours and mine are the same because that happens a lot with us, Sophie.
I think for our number 1, all 3 of us are gonna have the same answer.
Oh,
And so,
really?
yeah. So
Wow.
it's still my number 2.
Yeah. So what's number 2, Sophie?
Well, my number 2 was originally going to be my number 1, but seeing you guys and making a prediction, which I'm 80% sure is right, I'm going to swap my number 2 and my number 1 for the sake of consistency. My number 2 is Wally. That was originally going to be my number 1,
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
but I'm like making a bet here. So we'll see if I'm right and if what I did made sense or not. My number 2 is now Wally because I still don't understand why it was so low on your list, Daddy. Like, you see these two characters, they are the most romantic couple Pixar has made, aside from Wade and Ember. And we start out on this barren, desolate land.
Uh-huh.
Wally is completely alone. Like, we've seen all of his
He does have
fellow
his friend
robots. He does have his friend, the cockroach.
Yep.
who
Kind of
buries
like his
himself
Wilson.
inside a Twinkie. How's
Yeah,
that make you want to have a Twinkie?
Yeah.
no thanks. No thanks. Point is, he is alone.
Yeah.
We see him. He had friends, but for some reason they all stopped working. They all ran out of battery or they broke or something. But Wally is different because in his alone time, he's developed a glitch. He has developed humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see this and we see his human dreams. He really is a human in a robot's body because he loves human culture. He loves life, and that's not something he can experience firsthand, but still he tries and he's developed his own sort of sense of it. And then in the middle of a most mundane day, he actually finds life in the form of that plant, and he is enthralled with it. And then Eve comes, and she is just like all of the people who came before, well, all of the robots who came before Wally. She is a mechanical being made to do only one thing. And Wally's like, oh goodness. Looking at her, all she does is work. Like, there's no soul to her, but there very much could be. And so he tries to connect with her. And all the while, he's trying to connect with her, this beautiful romantic song by, not, is it Billy Armstrong?
I don't know, honey.
Some jazz player that I can't remember. Yes, it
Louis
is
Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. I'm sorry, I'm so uncultured. All the while, that song is playing in the background while he's trying to befriend her or even woo her because he thinks she's the most beautiful thing since, well, life.
Forever.
Yes,
And the song is La Vie en Rose.
yes. And finally, he gets through to her. And when she finally decides to entertain him for a while, he's so happy. He shows her everything he's seen so far. And it all comes to a head with that plant. He is showing her what she could have. And so while she doesn't recognize it yet because that plant was her purpose, she has fulfilled her job, and we see it. When she goes to sleep, he is so distraught because he's worried something is wrong with her, and he is so sad of being alone. So he follows her all the way to space. He realizes that there are more robots just like her, and he adopts them as his friends as well. But Eve is special. She is different from them all. Even from the other robots who look just like her, she is his Eve.
Yep.
And as the movie progresses, not only does she open herself up to this glitch of humanity that Wally has, and she gets it too, because we see she definitely has humanity in her, even though she is a robot. And by the end of the movie, they're basically two humans. Two humans that are mechanical. The only thing separating them from the humans that made them is the fact that they are not made of flesh and blood. That's it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's like seeing two people thrive together.
Mhm.
It's a
Beautiful
very
story.
romantic movie.
It is. It is very beautiful.
All right, Brenda.
Well said.
Thank
Yes.
you.
I just am shocked that I'm surprised that you think that we all have the same number one. If we
I'm
all have the same number one, I'm going to be ultra surprised.
say it.
Should we all say it?
No, you say it, Brenda.
Well,
Say it so.
my number one is Up.
Oh,
See, are you surprised?
I was a little surprised.
Okay, well, see, I was not thinking we were going to all have number one, but the story about Up, it for anyone who hasn't seen it, the film centers on Carl Fredrickson, an elderly widower who travels to South America with wilderness explorer Russell in order to fulfill a promise that he made to his late wife, Ellie. Along the way, they meet a talking dog named Doug and encounter a giant bird named Kevin who is being hunted by an explorer, Charles Muntz, whom Carl has idolized in childhood. But the story of Carl and Ellie just ripped me, just ripped my heart out. There's something about it that
Mhm.
just I don't even have words. I can see that. I've seen that a lot in my life, like
Yeah.
just longing for, what you had and what you missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's Up because to me that's lasting love that I just believe it does last forever. When it's true love, it does last forever. So for me,
Uh-huh.
it's very romantic. Even though the movie really centers on other things, that's what grabbed me.
Yeah.
It's the it's not the primary subplot. It's not the primary plot
Right.
because Ellie is gone.
But
No.
So
he's
it's
trying to
But
not,
it is.
fulfill
but it
something
is
for her.
it's the overarching whole theme
Right.
Yeah.
because of that love.
Right.
And Up is number 1 on my list.
Oh my gosh,
What?
I'm shocked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I
Carl and
was just
Ellie,
completely wrong then.
Carl and Ellie is the quintessential love story of
Yes.
all time.
Yes.
There's several things on here. One, the 5-minute scene of love and tragedy all rolled into one with that
Mhm.
incredible music is one of the most poignant moments in any movie, period. End of
Yeah.
story. And what makes it so incredible is that it's in the moments of tragedy that the person you love clings to you even more, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what makes that story. And of course, my mom is Ellen. Sophie's Meemaw, and my
Yeah.
dad has called her Ellie for 50 plus
Aw,
years, you know?
sweet.
And what's really cute is, they, you know what? May 1st will be their 60th wedding anniversary.
Wow,
Wow.
Yeah.
amazing.
It dawned on me when I was taking mom home, and I'm like, after the cruise, and I was like, wow. And what was really adorable, and they may not have even noticed because I was about to leave, but they may not have even known I was still there. But when I was about to leave after taking mom home, dad got out of the off the couch and went over to mom, and they hugged each other and kissed. And
Mm.
Oh,
it was
sweet.
so adorable, Sophie. I was like, "Oh my gosh, my parents still know what romance is."
Oh, so sweet.
It
Oh,
was
that's so
it
sweet. I
was
love
so
it.
cute. It was so
Oh,
cute. But that story, I mean, it spans a lifetime,
yes.
you know? They did
Yeah,
not have the quintessential, two kids in a car and all that in a house because they had tragedy that took that opportunity from them.
yep.
But that didn't matter. I mean, they weren't meant to have that
Right.
kid and everything. They were meant to have each other. And they have
Yes.
each other, and they had each other from the moment they met until the moment that she died, you
Yep.
know? So,
And
And she still had him
yeah.
and
because
he
she would
still
always
had
have him.
her.
And she left her book for him,
Mhm.
Yep.
and it's just an incredible story, and
I
that's why
agree. I'm so
that's
shocked
why
that we
it's
had the
number
same
one.
one.
That's why it's number one on my list.
Well, yeah,
Yay.
I'm even more shocked because
Yeah,
how
we
am
don't
I
know what your number one is.
how am I the only one that had Lady and the Tramp on our list?
Oh,
Ah,
well, that's a great story. I don't know. It is a great story.
it is a great story.
And had I known, I would have kept Wally as my number one.
Well, call it 1A and 1B. How about
That's
that?
right.
Mm. Well,
That's
either
right.
way, Lady and the
So you
Tramp
like my
is on my.
wallpaper, Sophie?
Yes, I thought
Yes.
that was a clue as to what one of yours was.
Oh,
For
I can
those of
see why
you
you thought that for sure. Yeah.
For those
Yeah.
of you who are not watching us on YouTube, Daddy has a background right now, and it is topiaries from one of the Flower and Garden festivals of Lady and the Tramp from the titular movie. And so for that reason, I was like, it is too early for the Flower and Garden Festival. He must have that wallpaper because that's one of his choices. And you kept on saying other things besides Lady and the Tramp. And I was like, is that his number one? Because if that's my number two and it's his number one, I can't live with that.
Oh, well, we
It's
just changed
okay.
it all up.
Yeah,
It's fine. It's still a very romantic movie.
it is. And I
And
It
mean,
is.
I
that whole
like
scene with the spaghetti and the meatball.
Yeah.
and I quite like it because unlike many of the other movies that were on my list, this one does involve the family. Like in the other four movies that I said, family either was not there for the case of Wally and Eve, and for Rapunzel as well, because she was trapped in a tower. But for like Elemental and the Princess and the Frog, their families did exist, they just weren't involved with the romance very much. And if they were involved in the case of Elemental, they were either meant to sort of act as an obstacle to overcome in order to have the relationship. But with Lady and the Tramp, her family is very much involved, and they are not seen as like some hurdle that we need to jump in order to have what we have. They're seen as just an extension of her. And Tramp, obviously, he is kind of like a street urchin. He doesn't really have a family of his own. He doesn't understand the appeal of ladies. But by the end of the movie, not only is she in love with him, Not only does she take him as her own and have his puppies too, but he is part of her family. So it's as much a story about adopted relationships as it is about romance. Because
Yeah.
he is, by the end of the movie, he is just as much a part of her circle as she is, while as in the beginning, he was an outcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the things I like about Tramp that kind of is different than characters like Flynn Rider and Aladdin and so forth, and the Beast
Hmm.
and so forth, is that he recognized his feelings for Lady faster in the movie
Certainly.
than the other ones did. You know, even Lightning McQueen and all that. He realized, you know what, this girl needs help, and she means something to me. He helped with the muzzle. He helped with, you know, the dinner and pushing the
Hmm.
meatball to her so she could eat it instead of
Yeah.
him. You know, it's
Everything he
just
was doing was for her,
yeah,
even
Yeah.
if in the beginning it was misguided.
yeah.
Just a little bit.
So so it's a
Yes,
good
that's a great
choice.
choice.
Great choice, Sophie.
Yep.
Thank you. Not to mention they released the live action one on Disney Plus in honor of Valentine's Day. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the live action
I
version.
didn't
yeah,
know about that.
And
live
it
action Lady and the Tramp, not quite as good as the original, but in
Oh,
2020 they put it on Disney Plus in honor of Valentine's Day.
and
well, that's nice.
not only that, but live action Lady and the Tramp takes place in Savannah, Georgia.
Yes.
Ah,
Well,
And
as I
it's
believe
whereas the other
the
one is in the UK, I think.
New the UK or maybe New England somewhere.
Yeah. I think it's the UK. But but it's really cool, and it was released during COVID.
oh
Um
goodness.
so so
Mhm.
it was a nice welcome addition when you're in the middle of dealing with COVID, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's worth seeing, Brenda. I remember we watched
Okay.
it, and it was kind of cute, and it was kind of neat to see
It was
all the
cute.
places in Savannah that we've seen because we've been to Savannah, you know. So it was kind of neat
Oh,
to be able to have that and say like, "Hey, we've been there," kind of thing,
that's
you
neat.
know. So anyway, I
Great
forgot about the live
choice.
action though, Sophie. Good memory. But that was a great topic, people. I had so much fun, and you know what? It's Disney. Next week,
Yeah.
my list might be changed up, and
Never know
it'll
what's
still be
coming.
okay. You never know.
I don't know. I think my list is pretty solid.
Yeah. But anyway, it is time for this day in Disney history for February 19th. So, Sophie, take it away.
All right then. I am taking us back to the year of 1941, where Disney's Technicolor feature Fantasia opens at the Apollo Theater in Chicago, Illinois. The film, featuring 8 animated segments synchronized to pieces of classical music, first premiered last November in 1940 in New York City. A total of 13 roadshow versions of Fantasia are being held across the U.S. Exhibited in the form of a limited-run roadshow attraction, the theaters are equipped with Fantasound, a pioneering stereophonic surround sound system.
Nice.
And I guess, you know, that's interesting because um I think part of the issue with Fantasia, I almost said phantasmic, with Fantasia is that not all the theaters could support the music to the level
Yeah.
that it needed to be appreciated. And
Yeah,
maybe that limited how successful it might have been because of that.
that's true. They
Yeah,
didn't
I
want to
think
take a chance.
so.
I mean, and what that speaks to, though, Sophie, is how far ahead of the world Walt Disney was.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's what it speaks to, is the
Yes,
It
genius that is
does.
Walt Disney.
And
for
it's
You
one
sure.
know,
reason why I love Fantasia so much. It is such a great piece of animation, even though it was very what's the word I'm thinking about? Niche.
Yeah, very
Yes,
niche,
very niche.
and in a lot of cases underappreciated by the people who heard it.
Yeah.
Myself included. So, but great history, Sophie. Great history.
Yes, very.
All right.
Ooh, it's time to stump the
Stump in the
soap.
stove. Stump
You
in the
can
stove.
try.
I don't see any way I can succeed in this one.
I can't imagine it.
I am amazed that this character has never been used.
Oh.
And you're going to be amazed too. You're going to be like, what? How did that not happen? But anyway, this character learned to ride a horse before they learned to walk.
Learned to ride a horse before they learned to walk?
Yeah.
And we're made to know that in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
This character leads an isolated life. Her mother died when she was a
course.
child. Of course, Brenda's like, yeah, wouldn't
I
be a
mean-
Disney movie otherwise.
That's right.
Here's the thing, most Disney movies do not have both parents involved.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the thing.
So keep thinking. These are going to start adding up and you're going to come up with it. This character, she lives a luxurious life but feels suffocated by her circumstances.
Learned to ride a horse before she could walk. Lives a very luxurious life. No mother.
Feels suffocated by her circumstances.
Okay.
And I have one more
So
one
it's
here.
definitely a Disney princess.
Okay.
Is definitely a princess.
All right.
It can't be Ariel. She doesn't have legs. Jasmine does not have a horse.
I didn't say that she had a horse.
Oh.
Just that she learned to ride a horse before she learned to walk.
And it's not a seahorse.
No, it's not a seahorse. And this character has a pet tiger.
Oh my gosh.
Is it Jasmine?
It is Jasmine.
I thought it was Jasmine except the horse thing.
Yeah.
Did you know, according to Jasmine, she learned to ride a horse before she learned to walk.
It never said that anywhere in the movie.
I don't remember that.
Well, and here's another bit of did you know, which I didn't even look at really, but it's kind of cool. Although the exact date is not clear, Jasmine's birthday appears to be sometime in February.
Huh.
Aladdin takes place shortly before her birthday. When Jasmine and Aladdin take their trip on the magic carpet, they fly over China, where Chinese New Year is being celebrated, and that holiday is observed in mid-February.
Huh.
Hey, dang.
So,
Well, what do you know?
Princess shares my birthday month. There you go. I
That's
said it here.
awesome.
And I can't believe we never had Princess Jasmine as our character before.
I can't believe it either.
That's awesome. God, that's surprising, isn't it?
But yeah, she
Yep, you
she's
can't stump the
suffocated
soap.
by her circumstances. She
Yeah,
has
that's
a
a good
luxurious life. She's an
Wow.
isolated life. Her mother died when she was a child. She has a pet tiger. So good job, Sophie.
Thank
It
you.
was harder than I thought it would be, though.
Yeah, and now I need to watch it again because I'm curious if there's if someone talks down to her as everyone does and says something like, be careful trying to ride that horse or something, and she could say, I was riding horses before I ever learned to walk or something. I'm wondering if she
Yeah.
does say that. Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
That's great. Yay, Sophie.
Thank
Man,
you.
what's her record? Her record is like the bomb this year. Like, she hasn't missed it again, has she?
I've missed one, I think.
Yeah, one.
Everybody's given one. That's all she needs.
Yep. All right, Brenda.
Well, I
Close
have a
this
little bit of
out.
Walt, but I have a little bit of Walt. Just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And it's a short line, but it's, powerful. Togetherness for me means teamwork.
Walt Disney.
Yep, Walt Disney.
What
Yeah.
a
Togetherness
great
for him
quote.
means teamwork.
What a
Good
great
quote.
quote.
Yeah, it's not a good quote. It's a great quote. You're right, Sophie.
Yay.
Thank you, Brenda, for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you, Walt.
And it is time to wrap it up. Next week, I have another movie topic. And I threw this one in ahead of this one coming up because of Valentine's Day and everything like that. But next week, I want us to think about Disney movies that we have seen that are better the second time you've seen it.
Ooh.
So if you saw a movie, you're like, and then you saw it again, you're like, oh, that's a lot better now. I want you to think about what that movie might be and why. And it might be a quick topic, but that's where I'm going with it. So,
Are we doing 3?
well, I
I
didn't
don't know
pick
that I
a
can get
number.
5 out of that.
Do you have 3?
I don't have any yet. I got to think about it.
Okay.
I don't have any that popped to my head as something I remember that being true, but I need to just think on it for a little bit.
Then
Looks
let's
to
do
me like
3.
we need to watch some movies.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, so let's do 3 then.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, well, that wraps us up. Until next week, we hope you all have a great week. Remember, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie, and that's Brenda, and he's Grogu, and we will
See you,
see
on,
you
the
on the
road.
road.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.